Hello, my name is Neil Ticktin. I'm the editor-in-chief and publisher of MacTech Magazine. We're here this week with the unofficial Apple weblog and MacTech are together interviewing developers at WWDC 2011 in San Francisco. With us now is Doug Hanley from MacTech Training and Consulting, or Consulting and Training. Doug, thanks for joining us in here.
Hey, it's always good to talk to you, Neil.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you guys do and
Sure.
as a background?
So we started out as a consulting firm that then got into training, became an Apple Authorized Training Center, added doing the repairs, then started doing the training on repairs. So we have all these different, and then pro services with Apple. So we have a lot of different relationships and like private conversations, NDAs that we try and keep all good on. So we won't go into those areas, but just talking from the keynote, there's a lot of things in that impact IT consultants, ACNs, Apple Consultant Network members that you've dealt with the MacTech conferences and what going into the future. I think one of the biggest announcements related to that was the cutting the cord. No more PC needed.
Right.
And Scott Forstall basically said, we've seen this coming, but we're actually kind of hurrying it along. It's like they're almost moving the industry towards gutting part of their income per se for getting rid of the desktop, laptop.
It was kind of interesting. I think Jobs' comment at one point, or it might have been Scott's, I don't remember. He said, "We're demoting the Mac." Right, and it was not. It was not meant as a denigrating comment, but it was. We're bringing the Mac down a level so that it's just another device that's in there. It wasn't bad. It was good from the way that it was being said, but the word was demoting the Mac.
Yeah, and I hadn't heard that comment just because there was so much content in there. And if you get a chance, look for WWDC 2011, the musical. They summed it up in this like 3-minute song,
each time,
and it was like. Oh, it was pretty accurate, actually. Covered all the high points, but
of course you had to have seen the entire,
keynote
video in order to understand that 3 minutes covered the whole thing.
Exactly.
But what specifically did you think was really what are you excited about? What do you think is the most relevant from the IT side?
Well, on the IT side, deploying right now, if you need to deploy a mass number of iPads or iPhones or iPad Touches, you've got to take each of them, plug them into iTunes, activate them, do the imaging, go through all of that stuff. And there's a lot of hand-holding, and iTunes is the portal. And basically everything they said is
it's gone.
That's gone. Right. Coming forward with iOS 5, and it really changes that whole deployment methodology, making it a lot easier. And what that does is just kind of like with automation, or just even with the Mac, less and less of a need for an IT. I mean, normally you can say like with a Windows guy. If the company has 20 machines, they must have a full-time IT person taking care of the machines. With the Mac, a lot of different people that hundreds of machines, whatever, and they see them once a month because of the automation things there. And now, basically things are moving more towards appliances on the back of the house side with firewalls and everything. It's more of it's a box, it's an appliance. With an appliance, you have a repairman that shows up occasionally. You don't have somebody constantly fixing, tinkering, and everything. And the updates are from the company, and it's relatively in the background. And that's what's happening with the Mac, with Mac OS X Lion, and with the iPhone.
And it creates
iPad.
a good opportunity for those vendors out there that are doing mobile device management. There's stuff that's built into Lion Server. It's going to help with mobile device management. It probably is not going to help on the Android or BlackBerry side, but there are plenty of vendors out there that are doing a great job with MDM to support multiple platforms.
Yeah, Absolute and a bunch of the other ones that are doing multiple devices. Jamf with Casper Suite.
There's a whole
on the Mac side,
I mean, SODI and there's the list goes on and on.
Definitely.
So there's definitely some really good opportunity there with them. One of the things, I don't know what you've heard of this week, and some of it's under non-disclosure that we're not ready to talk about yet. But basically, Lion Server is going to be $50 on top of the $29, which is a great deal.
And there's a profile manager in there, and that profile manager is not just for the phones.
Right. And so one of the things that's going to be interesting in here is they talked about no more disks. What do you do now when you go to boot a crash machine that the disk has failed? You can't boot it up and go download something from the Mac App Store. What do you do about the situation where you want to go and deploy Lion to a whole bunch of machines? Well, what are these answers on licenses on that kind of stuff?
Well, the licensing thing, basically, from what I picked up, is education and business. It's one license per box, whereas for your home, it's
1 for 5.
1 for 5 or 1 for 10, even I'd heard today. So, you know, I want to get, I believe so.
Yeah.
So we need to get those things
Kind of
clean.
cleaned up and know what's going on.
But for the deployment, I mean, if you've already been doing this for a while, most, you know, small Soho consultants are already doing, they've got some kind of drive that's got the installer on it and can image from that.
Right.
Ones doing things on a larger scale should be doing something like with Deploy Studio or Casper Suite or NetRestore, which I still believe is there in server. Need to get a little bit deeper into it.
There's all the open source stuff, Monkey and whatnot. That's going to really...
there was an article on like freckled orange or something like freckled egg or something like that today of just how to pull the image out of the resources folder in the installer app that you can use to create that bootable disk or DVD or whatever that you need to do it.
Yeah.
So it's there, and you know, there's always going to be a solution, and who knows, there might be a few of those little white USB sticks that still come with the machines, obviously.
There you go.
But
we'll see how that all goes.
Yeah.
We need to wrap up here in a moment, but any last thoughts on what is really important for IT and devs
They probably need to continue their education to stay relevant.
Yeah.
So I mean, whether it's online training, going to a training center, and be interesting to see what Apple Training comes up with for and other organizations for iOS support as well as the
and obviously,
macOS 10.
Obviously, MacTech conference is going to have a huge footprint on
the conferences, etc.
And the timing of that is all great because people will start to understand what's going on. It's going to be great for the attendees because they'll be able to share some real experiences with other people who have started to deal with these issues in real life.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
Yeah. Well, it was great to have you. Thanks for stopping by and giving us some time in there. My name is Neil Ticktin. I'm the editor-in-chief and publisher of MacTech Magazine, and we're here with TUAW this week, and MacTech are jointly doing interviews with developers and IT pros about reaction to WWDC 2011. Thanks for watching.